we've got the goals to show you, and also Rio and Gamoa, which could have potentially been a goal, which could have made it 4-0. But obviously no VAR at this stage of this competition in the FA Cup. So I tell you what, why don't we start chronologically, shall we? And tell the story, if you're just joining us, with exactly what happened here today. Curtis Jones with the opening goal.
Yeah.
Talk us through that one, Maka.
Well, it was a lovely goal, actually, created by Milos Kerkez, who had another good game. Liverpool builds up as he is. You see Curtis Jones getting into the box, just almost sneaking in between the defenders and not thinking like an orthodox right-back, thinking like an attacking midfielder, which he is. Howell's a little bit slow to get across to Kerkez, but you know, you don't want to dig a 17-year-old out, but it was a lovely cross-in and a very, very difficult finish. Incredibly deft, just almost taking the pace off it to direct it into the net. Lovely goal. I mean, Liverpool scored fantastic goals this evening, and Curtis will be overshadowed by Szoboszlai, but you know, he saw the funny side, hasn't he, of that goal.
Well, we'll never know, because he didn't take that hat off all game, if it is a hat. What did you think of Curtis' performance overall tonight, Adam?
Yeah, I thought we made an impact. I like the sound of having him at right back as well. We spoke to Arne before the game about different flexibility, having a midfielder playing there, and he kind of ghosted into the box and found space. And you know, I think he's going to have a big part to play towards the end of the season. Yeah,
definitely. We can get some reaction actually with Curtis Jones. He was player of the match today, and he's speaking with Liam now.
Just well done this evening. A great team performance. You were in at right back. What did you make of the overall performance from the team?
I thought it was a good game. Yeah, we scored 3 very good goals and a clean sheet as well, and that's all you can ask for.
From your perspective, first goal in 58, I'm sure you'd wanted to get one for a long time, but you ambled into the box and it's a lovely finish.
In all fairness, I think there's been times when I've scored more goals, but I've not played as well as I've been playing now. So I just want to play well. I want to be in a team. I want to help. You know, I want to help the team as much as I can. I'm fortunate enough to obviously be in teams with lads around me that can obviously score goals. But yeah, the more time I can score, you know, I'll try, the better.
Obviously played at right back today. How has it been managing the times where you've not been in, wanted to be in, and help the team?
Again, you know, I say it all the time. You know, is I'm a footballer. Yeah, you know, I'm a centre mid, and I want to score goals, and I want to assist, and I want to help the team. But if the manager needs me and the team needs me to go and play as a centre half or a full back, you know, a striker, I'll go and do it, and I'll try my best. And today, yeah, I was in there as a full back, and obviously I've scored and I've helped the team, so I'm happy.
A good result tonight after a good result at Sunderland. Do you feel as if the group are starting to click and that the performances and the results now could start to be a little bit more consistent?
I think that we've clicked for a while, yeah. It's, you know, it's a season that's, you know, it's just not, you know, it's obviously not being as good as we'd like it to be. That's part of the game, as I always say as well. You know, you can't expect to go into every game and just win. Teams obviously improving. We've obviously improved. We've had lads that have joined. We've had lads that have obviously left. So yeah, you know, it's obviously took time. But I think that the team is obviously gelled, and I think that the important thing is that off the pitch that there's a good bond there as well. I think that the lads will obviously say that have came in, that they've come into a team that has welcomed them in as if they've been there for the whole life. Yeah, you know, it's obviously took time that the fans obviously seen for Flo to obviously score more goals. But he's obviously played great games. But yeah, you know, as he's found his feet, he's a massive help now. And Hugo and the rest of the lads are obviously there and then helping us also. Yeah, so it's a matter of time before we kick on and then we're playing like the champions again.
Now, as a local lad, often you feel more of the pressure. You know what it likes for this place to win a trophy. FA Cup's a big chance. Do you feel as if you are ready to go on a run? You're in the 5th round now, but how much would you like to be lifting a trophy in this season? And how important is it for Liverpool Football Club?
I want to win everything. You know, as I obviously play as a fan as well, and I know what the fans expect. So yeah, you know, again, on top of being a fan, you know, I obviously know what it's like to play for a team like this. You have to win things, whether that's the Champions League, the Premier League. If you don't obviously win them, which are the main 2, then there's another 2 that we can go and win. We're obviously in the Champions League still, and in the FA Cup as well, and obviously it's a big cup as well in England. So yeah, you know, it'd obviously be great if we can come away with them too. But there's still plenty of games to play. So yeah, we're taking each game as it comes, and hopefully at the end of the year that we come away with the Champions League and the FA Cup.
Well, Curtis, enjoy tonight. You're today's Emirates Player of the Match. It's not bad, that one. Nice one. Cheers, bro. Appreciate it.
That genuine reaction after was absolutely delighted. After a really brilliant interview, he always comes across so well. A brilliant attitude, very versatile. How valuable is he to this squad?
Incredibly valuable, because he can play. I mean, I've known Curtis for a while, and at under 18 level and under 21 level, he was a forward. He was a left winger. He used to take people on. So the fact that he can play in that position and play in centre midfield where he ideally wants to play, and then also be absolutely fantastic at right back. I mean, good footballers should be able to play in 3, 4, 5 positions. But the fact that he never moans, he just slots in and plays as well as he did tonight and scores a goal. As I said, 1 goal in 57. It's not particularly fair, that number, because he's played at right back or he's come on a substitute at times. So it's not a great number, but I'm thrilled to bits for him that he scored, and it was a fantastic goal, and I was made up he got the Man of the Match award as well. He deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, for Arne to kind of hear that interview and him speaking about how he doesn't care where he plays on the pitch, I think epitomises his attitude and you know, how big a part he's been for this football team. And it's always great to have a Scouser doing well as you know, Liverpool are a massive club, and the fans want to relate to people from their city.
Let's have a look at Dominic Szoboszlai's goal and just enjoy it. Just watch it back again. Adam, you can talk us through this one.
I mean, touch from Mo Salah was kind of put on a plate for him, really, and he wanted the ball initially, Szoboszlai, and the minute he had that great touch, he just thunderbolt straight into the back of the net, and my pal couldn't do anything about that.
It was a fantastic goal, wasn't it? Virgil to Gakpo, you know, everything was perfect. Nobody had to move, nobody had to break stride, and I mean, like, Salah didn't have to break stride, he just cushioned it down to Szoboszlai. Wow, if you're thinking of the right person for it to fall to, who can hit a ball as well as this guy can, and the form that he's in at the moment is, you know, Mo said he's one of the best players in the world at this moment in time. That's a high accolade in himself, but he is in great form, and he's been, you know, I think most people think he's been Liverpool's best player this year.
That graphic tells a lot about how important he is. Only Hugo Ekitike has got more goal involvements this season than Dominic Szoboszlai, but you really feel like the goals he's producing are important ones at exactly the right moment. He's a big-time player.
He is a big-time. I heard Stevie speaking about how he thought he was a top player, and to get to the next level, he probably needed to bring a few more goals to his game and assists. And in recent weeks, he's been a big-time player in big matches. And you know, I don't think it's just his outputs with the ball. Without the ball, he's always willing to step, to run, to press, to be tenacious. And he's the full package at the moment. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the penalty incident, and you can tell me what you think of that initially, and then we'll obviously have a look at the penalty itself.
Yeah, Mo Salah had a really good night, actually, and I mean, anybody who wants to almost wrestle with Mo, they eventually lose, because he mightn't be the tallest, but physically he's incredibly strong. And he just, you know, it's actually a scruffy challenge, really, by Pascal Gross. He just gets caught in almost a wrestle with Mo, and he pushes him away, and then there's a tangle of legs. It's nothing, really, but the left leg of Pascal Gross just comes around Mo Salah, and Mo goes to ground with the contact.
I think it's a bit soft.
Yeah, a bit soft, I thought, but Mo does well kind of reenacting and rippling hold of his arm and putting it under his armpit, and then kind of went down a bit too easy, but he put it away well, and I thought he deserved the goal on the night, Mo, for his performance.
The penalty is classic Mo Salah.
Yes, and he needed the goal as well. You could see his reaction. He just stood there and put his arms up to the cop and then gesticulated to the badge. So it was a big goal for him, and again, you're talking about Mo Salah having an assist and a goal and assist, like you mentioned before, and that's when he's starting to get to his best form, and Liverpool are playing well at this moment in time. The victory the other day, even the performance against Manchester City was a decent enough performance. So they're slowly but surely, even though they've got injury worries, they're starting to click, and they look, if they can keep everybody fit as they are at the moment, you know, they're going to go on a bit of a run.
We want to show you the disallowed goal for Rio Ngamoua, because this could have been a fantastic moment for him. There's no VAR, of course, in this round and the last round of the FA Cup. So this was ruled offside, but the question, Adam, is, was it?
It wasn't. I mean, it's such a shame for the young boy. It would have been his first goal in a competitive fixture. There's no chance he's offside there. I think full-backs keeping him on there. But we quite enjoyed the game with no stoppages, didn't we, Maka? We were saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate, isn't it, that fact that you're talking about it. I think Tammy Abraham's goal early on for Aston Villa was offside as well, but that was given. And unfortunately for Rio, the referee's assistant is looking across the line. Whether he thinks Ekitike just strayed offside, it might have got in his mind. But no VAR. Disappointing for Rio. We scored against Newcastle, of course, that winner back in early on in the season, and that would have been a nice finish for him.
So what are you guys saying? Bring back VAR in these rounds
God,
of the FA Cup?
No.
No? Are you enjoying a weekend without it?
I love it. I think it's a shambles at the minute, VAR, I'm sorry to say.
Really?
So I'm happy. I'm more than happy without it.
No comment. Adam is learning quickly not to get himself in trouble.
Yeah. He's still coaching.
But obviously a really disappointing moment for him, and I would have loved that goal at Anfield. But look, a great performance.
Arne, well done this evening, a good result for your team. What impressed you most by how your team played and performed this evening?
What impressed me most, I think maybe the goals, especially the second one, was a fantastic goal. Margins were maybe smaller than the 3-0 looks like, because at 1-0 just before half-time they got a big chance. But yeah, that felt good for us, or I should say great save from Ali. And second half, 2 good goals. And in the end it feels like a comfortable win, but I think it was more closer than the 3-0 score shows.
On those moments where the goals were scored, off the ball, it seemed as if you were talking through your team when to press, and the press seemed to work really effectively today. You secured the ball in high areas at the pitch and could then recycle from there.
Yeah, but it was also possible to press. And many times this season when we played here, it wasn't possible to press because of the style of play of the other team. And as I said before the game, today we have 2 teams that have a similar style. One to bring the ball out from the back, as you could see in our second goal. And 2 teams who want to press high. But yeah, the modern Premier League is not that much about bringing the ball out from the back. It's a lot about the direct style of play and a lot about set pieces. But today we faced a team that wanted to bring the ball out from the back. And then I think we showed that we are still as good as last season off the ball. But yeah, playing style of opponents has massively changed throughout the league, but particularly against us.
3 different goal scorers today. The last one, Mo Salah from the spot, back in the goals. I'm sure you'd like him to go on a more typical Mo Salah run of goals after this.
Yeah, of course, but he did not only had a goal, he also had an assist, and with his right foot. So that's probably even special for him, I'm not sure, but the next step is scoring with his right. Maybe he did this a lot as well, I don't know. But no, I think it's nice to see him on the scoreboard again, but he's been also influential in his assist in the last few games. But I think what I see, what has been a very positive and help for the team is that he also does a lot off the ball. And that's what he did against City, that's what he did against Sunderland, and that's what he again did tonight.
Obviously a good performance and results. Now you talk about margins at this stage of the season with lots still to play for. What else can you do? What more can you see from your team that could get you over the line in this, the FA Cup, or potentially the Champions League as well?
I would almost say the FA Cup is just as hard as the Champions League, because almost all the same teams are still in, except for Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona, Real Madrid, and some others, Inter Milan. But a lot of Premier League teams are also inside the Champions League, and they're all inside, in the FA Cup as well. So margins are small, but I think it's fair for me to say that this team has made a proper development throughout the last few months. It is happened quite a lot of times to us that 3 days or 2 days after a game we struggle to bring the same intensity, but that is now of a far better level for us. Players have adjusted, team is playing better and better because we are fitter and fitter, and yeah, let's see where that will lead to. But as I said, the margins are small, but now the margins are small. In the beginning of the season it didn't always feel like this. It didn't always feel that we were completely ready to compete. In terms of intensity, after 3 days, keep on playing the same players, so that were not all adjusted yet, but now they are, and now you can see what this team can do.
You mentioned there the development that your team has made. What's the next step? What's the next stage of that?
I think I said many times this season already that these players are young. Most of them, not all of them. Mo and Virgil not so young, but most of the signings we've done are really young. They first needed time to adapt to a new country, to the league, to playing 3 games in 7 or 8 days at this incredible intensity levels of the Premier League and the Champions League. Now they've adjusted to that. They find each other better and better. Connections become better, and I think there's a lot more to come for the signings we've made. And I think Dominic Szoboszlai is also a great example of that. If you look at his past 2.5 years, how much improvement he's made coming from the Bundesliga to where he is now as a player, I think there's still a lot more to come for Florian, for Hugo, for all the other signings we've made. And with Dominic and with Ryan, we also have some youngsters in our team that are already here for a longer time. So the future looks bright. That's what I've said many times.
Congratulations, Arne. Well done.
Just your reaction to that. He was talking about better intensity. The team are fitter and fitter. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it's true. I think both teams wanted to play high press and wanted to play it from the back this evening. And he alluded to Liverpool haven't been facing teams like that in the Premier League that want to focus more on playing direct, more on set pieces. And I get the impression that Arne's not enjoying that.
What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, as I said early on, I think it was the ideal opposition for them tonight, Liverpool. The way they play, Liverpool are camped on the box waiting for Jason Steele to play it to Lewis Dunk to play out, and they're ready to go and press. And I think that's what made it easier for Liverpool when they're playing against the side that are like Liverpool, want to play like Liverpool, but they're at Anfield with the crowd the way they are. I just fancied Liverpool to go and beat them tonight quite comfortably. That's why I said I'd prefer Brighton to be a bit more nasty, a bit more long ball, a bit more aggressive, because that upsets Liverpool. I thought it was a really comfortable night's work. The fact that Liverpool have won 3-0, put Train Yonmi on, put Rio and Gamoa on, put more players on. It was just a really comfortable night. Brighton will be disappointed that they didn't really lay a glove on Liverpool. If they would have got that goal late in the first half, maybe. But even the second half, it was just very comfortable for Liverpool. Really good night's work.
How disappointed do you think?
Yeah, they will be. They did have a few moments at the end of the first half, and interesting, Arne said he didn't think it was a 3-0 game. He's such an extremely honest manager. But yeah, Brighton will be disappointed. It's kind of where they're at the moment. I think a Brighton of a year, 2 years ago would have had a good chance today against the Liverpool team and where they're at. But but Brighton are going to have to dust themselves down. They've got a big league game next week against Brentford. They don't want to get dragged into the relegation battle.
Do you think that's what they're focusing on, the Premier League?
I do think, like you've mentioned, Danny Welbeck and why he didn't play today. I do think Fabian would have been looking after him. Same with James Milner, who played during the week. And if you're in a relegation battle, you want your experienced players out there that know the league, know what's required, and they're getting close to getting sucked in.
The only thing that concerns me is that Liverpool's next game's in 8 days. I think Brighton have got a week off as well. The fact that Mitoma was on the bench, Rutter was on the bench, Minter was on the bench, Welbeck. I thought if they would have been on the pitch, they would have caused Liverpool far more problems than the original 11, and that was my only disappointing thing. If you've travelled down as a Brighton fan, looking at that starting 11, as much as the really good players, I thought they're weaker tonight. That is not their strongest 11, and whether they're focusing on the Premier League, if they stay in it, that everything's fine. Yeah. But I just thought they missed an opportunity, really.
Yeah, lots of positives to take away from Liverpool's 3-0 win over Brighton today. They're through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Before we get word from the boys here, our Mark Ogden was pitchside today and he caught up with Dominic Szoboszlai.
Hi, Dominic. So, since the Man City game, you've won 2 games, 2 clean sheets. How important was it to bounce back in that fashion?
Well, for me, only one. But yeah, I'm happy that the guys kept the clean sheet in Sunderland, and also that they took the 3 points home. And but today was also a massive one, important going into the next round.
5th round of the FA Cup, so you're kind of beginning to see the path to Wembley now. How important is it to win a major trophy this year with the FA Cup?
Well, every season is important to win a trophy. We can say that in the Premier League we are out of the race. But there are 2 more campaigns where we can achieve something big, and that's our goal.
You say you're out of the race in the Premier League, but obviously you've still got a chance of top 4, so the season can still have a successful ending in 3 competitions at the moment.
Yeah, that's true, to be honest. But you was asking me about the trophies. to be on the top four, that's necessary, to be honest, for a club like Liverpool, and we're gonna do everything that is possible.
From your own perspective, that's 10 goals in all competitions this season, and quite a few decent ones as well. So how do you rate tonight's?
Oh, I try to do my best every game, and if I have a chance to shoot, then finally I take the decisions to shoot, and sometimes I hit it good and it goes in.
This must be one of your best seasons goal-wise, though, because free kicks, goals all over the place.
Yeah, I guess I just want to keep going.
Thanks, Dominic. Cheers.
And nice stuff there. Yeah, Mark Ogden getting schooled by Szoboszlai in the interview. Luis Garcia still with us. Let me start with you, though, Stevie, because for once it feels as though we've got a lot of positives to take away from a Liverpool showing.
Well, it's not very often this year that you can watch Liverpool and not feel stress. And there was no real stress today. You know, a couple of little spells, just a couple of minutes before half-time we had a couple of opportunities. And then maybe a 5-minute spell in the second half where at 1-0, Brighton looked as though they were sort of getting a bit of steam going. But other than those two little periods, Liverpool were dominant, in my opinion. Liverpool were the team on the front foot. They were the team that were creating. They were putting pressure on the opposition. They got the 3 goals. They kept a clean sheet. I mean, it's the kind of performance that you, this season, hope to see more often. But it's the kind of performance we've expected from Liverpool all season. So hopefully this is the start of some sort of consistent performance, because if they can produce what they did today between now and the end of the season, then they will qualify for the Champions League, in my opinion.
And speaking of producing today, the goods came from Milos Kerkez. It's obviously been a difficult season for him, but today did we see the player that was promised to Liverpool?
Absolutely. Listen, well, I know I have been critical of Kerkez, and I think that for the majority of this season so far, he's been a problem in the back four. He has not affected Liverpool either in an attacking sense or in a defensive sense. And we've mentioned it on more than one occasion. So I think it's only right that we say today that in terms of what he's been producing, he was fantastic today. He was a terrier defensively. He was in good positions. He got close to people. He won the ball back. And then, of course, going forward, he's almost scored with a cracking volley. He set up Curtis Jones for his goal. I mean, what we saw from Kerkez, 100%, is the player that we thought Liverpool were getting. And today he showed us what he's capable of. So now, let's hope he's taking a step forward and he can get close to that sort of performance every time he steps on the field. And if he does, not just me, but every Liverpool fan will be more than pleased.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to silverware this season, the FA Cup has got to be a good chance for them right now, Luis Garcia.
Yes, definitely, because it's a massive competition. You know, they all love the cup there in England, and it's the closest that they are right now to touch the silverware. Let's not forget, in Champions League, it's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. The amount of quality and tough teams they are over there, most of them from the Premier League, that you've been struggling to get results, is not going to put you in a good position, because you need that consistency. Because today we saw a couple of occasions in the last of the first 45 and also in the beginning of the second one, where Brighton had the opportunity to get back into the score. And those opportunities, probably when you play later on in the Champions League against top teams, those are going to be capitalized and you're going to be punished. So I think the FA Cup is a real thing for Liverpool this season. And well, we had also Arne Slot, the manager, talking about they're going to be focused on doing that. They have to play every single game as a final. They have to try and win every single game, but definitely having the option of winning an FA Cup and bringing it to the stands again, I think is a real option right now.
We're going to let you go now, Luis, but we're just wondering where you are in the world right now.
I'm in Malaysia, came 6:20 in the morning, and looking forward to my team JDT to play on Tuesday in the Champions League. Big game.
Good luck to Luis Garcia's team.
What a
Gets around, doesn't
decision maker, by the way.
Absolutely, of course he is. Luis, thank you so much for being with us. We'll be hearing a lot more from Luis Garcia